What up, YouTube? It's your boy Ghost. I'm coming to you from inside my truck. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Let me get the camera straight. Don't want to get nobody motion sickness. So, I'm dropping this video today to speak on the fall of my authority and to give you guys a insight on everything that happened. To give you guys just the real on what happened, and hopefully somebody can take this video and they can learn from it. They can learn from my mistakes. They can learn from my failures, and it can help them keep their authority and keep it running smooth for until the end of time, honestly. So I thought I'd drop a video just explaining it and just be real and transparent with y'all, because at the end of the day, this is my story, this is my journey, and I'm telling y'all all my trials and tribulations, successes and failures of just trying to be on top of the hill, or I guess climb that mountain to success. So at the end of the day, this is the reason why my authority failed and why everything failed about it. The biggest one is poor management. Poor management basically that's just the number one thing, is poor management. So every single situation that I'm about to name, poor management is the cause and effect of it. When you have poor management, this is what causes it. So first of all, and also we're going to get into the insurance too. So the truck insurance. So poor management, and the poor management part comes with just everything. For one, the drug charges. The drug charges, I had one that was April 5th of 2018. Mind you, my authority started September 8th, 2017. That was when it went active, and I had the black truck. I had a solid system too. And that system actually ran smooth up until December of 2017, going into January 2018. That was when I started having problems with drivers, other drivers. That was when I had, one of my best friends driving for me, ex-best friends. And, that just went to shit. Because, like I've learned, trying to go into business with friends and family is not the best thing for you to do, because people become envious, and people think that just because they're family or they're friends, or that they're the person you're with, they can just bullshit and not give it 110%. So when it came to the drug charges, I got the first drug charge in April of 2018. And the guy it's another thing too, is the guy that got the charge, I was trying to help him out. I was, just trying to be a good person and just help this person out, which from off top, I should have never had him working for me. But like I said before, I got a good heart, and I give somebody the shirt off my back if I needed to, or if they needed it. So I was trying to help them, and in the end, it basically screwed me over, because that was going to hang with me for 3 years, and I didn't even know that at the time. I didn't know the severity of it, and that affected my insurance also. That really affected my insurance, because now I had a controlled substance on my authority, which is a no-no. Like, insurance companies are like, oh, and they don't really tell you about what happened. So I had to show proof that driver got fired and a bunch of other stuff in order to keep my insurance. But they still end up not wanting to renew me at the end, which I'll get to that. And then following that, it was April 2018 that I got that charge. Then September 2018, I had another driver smoke weed and get arrested in Florida. That charge didn't go on to my authority, thank God, but it did come back to haunt me when it came to my audit, because I had to explain why and how a driver goes from 2 weeks after I had a federal audit for a drug charge that happened in April. I had to go back and explain how the hell 2 weeks later I have a driver smoking weed again. The same driver that they were actually looking at that I was praising got busted 2 weeks later smoking weed. And I had to explain that in this CHP audit. And that one was worse than the federal audit. The CHP audit, that man chewed me a new ass. Like, I left out of there just basically knowing that my authority was doomed from then on out. Something else that caused me to fail was not following up on paperwork, which at the same time, like I said before, it falls back on poor management. Same with the drug charges. That falls back on poor management. You know, I could have prevented the drug charges because I could have been asking questions. If I noticed certain things, I could have been more alert on the situation instead of, sitting there with my eyes wide shut. Because when you talk to somebody and they talk long enough, they'll tell on themselves. And, there was plenty of signs there. I just ignored them because, like I said before, I was trying to make money. That's the hustler side of me, just not giving a damn. So, not following up on paperwork when it came to making sure all of my drivers and my driver files and my truck files and my trailer files, making sure all my paperwork was together, organized, and placed in the right place. That was my fault because, I put the task on people that I had in the back office thinking that, they were going to be on top of it, but it's like they'll get the paperwork and then put it off in the corner, and then a couple days go by and other paperwork and start piling up on top of it. So you're at a point where you just can't find shit. So that was a major hit to it when it came to just being organized and having my paperwork together, because I'm a very organized person. But when you get to the point where I had 8 or 9 trucks running, it's a whole lot of paperwork moving around. And if you don't have people that are on top of it and staying on top of it, as soon as they get it, they file it. If they're not doing that, you're gonna fail. My safety score went to shit. I was at a 48% out of service rate for my trucks, which is very high. It's only supposed to be at like 20%. And I can only fault myself with that. Why? Because I wasn't staying on top of my drivers, making sure that, they were doing everything they needed to do. I had all the paperwork in place to where every month they had to put in stuff about any type of situation they had with the truck. Because like I said before, you can't drive and run an office at the same time. It's nearly impossible when you are up to as many trucks as I was up. So the safety score went under because of that. And like I said before, poor management of the back office. And then I did a lot of hood rat shit with my authority. A whole lot of hood rat shit. But I'm not going to self-incriminate myself on some of the things that I did. But just know I did some hood rat shit, and I made good money off of it, and I paid the ultimate price at the same time. So, can't be doing hood rat shit. But I got like a hustler's mentality, and sometimes that mentality overpower just, logical thinking and everything else. Because I'm like, hey, let's just make $1. Let's go. Let's do it. So a lot of the hood rat shit had to do with hiring people that was like the homie hookup. Like, oh, I got a homie that got a CDL and he can drive. A lot of it came from that. Like, I learned no more homie hookups, no more trying to do favors for friends or people that I met that, want the hookup. Can't do that no more, because at the end of the day, I run a business and I got to treat it like a business. I can't treat it like, I'm out here on the block slinging. So can't do it like that. So I had to learn from that, learn from my mistakes, and with this second go round, I just got to do better. Another thing was poor driver accountability, but that once again falls on poor management. When you don't have somebody managing the company like they should, staying on top of people like they should, then, you get the results. I should have been on top of it, but at the same time, like I said, it's hard to drive, especially after you done drove 10, 11, 12 hours in a day. And then, the way we were running, it was just like we had a solid system. I mean, we made some really good money. My owner op did 265, and all he did was run California and Arizona for the whole time he was with me. And maybe he probably ran it 90% of the time. He was home on the weekends or every other day. So like I said before, the formula was there. The money was there. It's just poor management is what took me under. Just not staying on top of stuff, which with this second go round, I've taken all this into consideration. I've looked at all the numbers, and I know what I got to do this time to actually succeed and actually make everything work. Shout outs to, everybody that, helped me, because there's certain people, like there's one guy that, I can call. I hit him up in the middle of the night and he'll answer. And, I thank God that, he was able to bail me out of a situation I was in. And it's good to have people like that in your corner, because at the end of the day, you got to help each other out here. When it comes to just the authority, mine failed because, like I said before, poor management. Just not having people in the right place. Well, having people in the right place that didn't care. At the end of the day, whether it's, family or the person that, you're sleeping with, you got to make sure everybody is on board and everybody's doing what you need them to do, not what they think they should do for you. You need them to do exactly what you need them to do. And if they can't do that, then you just gonna have to pay somebody to do it. And that's what I learned. Like, instead of trying to keep the money in the house, I gotta, if I gotta pay somebody, a certain amount of money, then that's what I need to do. And that's what I learned. I can't rely on, trying to keep it all in the family, because at the end of the day, they don't care. They care about, the trips and the money that it's making and, all that. But when it really comes down to the nitty gritty, they're going to fault you and point the finger at you when everything fails, because it's your fault. And that's what I learned about this whole situation. I took it all on the chin, and like I told myself, this will never happen again in the future. And with this new authority, hey, like I said before, we're going to come back 10 times stronger. The greatest part about all this is the fact that I still have all my equipment. I still have all my trucks and trailers. Why? Because I invested in them and I paid them off. So at the end of the day, like right now, I have my truck running and I have my other Cascadia running. But my 2 internationals are sitting. One, it's got the bum motor in it, the Max Force. Then my other one, I just need a driver for it. Well, and then one of my owner ops ran into it, so I got to get it fixed. But other than that, I still got all my equipment. And like I told myself, hopefully by summer, I'll have all my trucks up and running running certain lanes that I need them to run. But this is the reason why, my authority went under. I hope you guys take everything in this video into consideration when it comes to people that want fleets and stuff like that. At the end of the day, make sure that your back office is on top of everything when it comes to the paperwork. Otherwise, you're gonna be sitting like me, pissed off because your whole company went under in the blink of an eye. And make sure everything's in place for when them audits come. Make sure you got your pull notices, your drug consortments, all that, your UCRs, just everything filed and ready to go, and just right there, because if you go through them audits and they find anything, it's an easy $3,500 fine, which I got hit with one of those too, because my ex-best friend didn't turn his paperwork in after we asked him numerous times, and that's something I had to take on the chin, along with people, the owner ops that ran in the fences and just did all the destruction that they did. I shelled out a lot of money last year, and at the end of the day, it's stuff that I had to eat. So don't think about it. You better not bark. So at the end of the day, love, peace, prosperity. And I hope you guys enjoy this video and take something from it. Deuces.